Man's midway through having a bath. He's also wearing a mismatched array of colours. He's sporting Ice's head colour and Nika's fleece, and extremely dirty legs. Why is he having a wash, I hear you ask, or think to yourself? And if you weren't thinking it to yourself before, I've just said it, so now you are thinking it. You're welcome. The reason why is because he's just about to train with me, Holly. Or train me, Holly, how to train him, because I'm not always sure. But that's okay, because in life, we're always learning. You learn something new every day, especially when we're working alongside our horses, trying to bring out the best in them, thus the best in ourselves. And in order to bring out the best in them, we need to be the best version of us. So this is part of my learning journey, learning how to best understand and communicate with the horses here that I'm lucky enough to work with. And today, I'm featuring Hannis and some of the things that we're working through with Groundwork at the moment, as most of the training I do with my guys, Hannis especially, and Jolanda van der Kronbank, is on the ground, and I love it like that because it gives me the opportunity to learn correct body language, how to be with them energetically, because it's teaming up body language with energies as well. You know, you want a nice calm direct energy, and it's also amazing because you get to observe them, as opposed to sometimes when you're on their backs. That's great and you learn to feel, but until I've learned how to feel, it's better for me to see not that intensely though. And at the moment, the focus of Hannis's Groundwork is just getting him a little bit looser and a bit more fluent through his body, because he's a naturally very tense little man, and he naturally bears most of his weight on the front end, which is the forehand. So he naturally goes along like this, all the way on the front end, on the front end, on the front end, on the front end. And what we want to encourage is for him to use his body more evenly. So he's gonna use his whole body to carry the center of mass rather than just the front end. Because back when we did have clients riding our horses, and part of the reason why we don't anymore, Hannis was a massive part of our experience days, which was great for everybody that came here, but not necessarily always for him, because when he had riders on him that let him go along on his front end like this, not pick him up properly, he would then go lame in front because all of the body weight is here. And not only was he carrying his own body weight here, but the weight of rider, and he just wasn't good. So what we encourage him to, as well as being tense and stiff, what I need to encourage him to do in the Groundwork is, instead of going is more even through the body, push here. So he's going to use his hind end to push through the energy from behind. He's going to sit back more here rather than just bearing all on the front end, and by sitting back more here, he's going to engage his core, he's going to engage his back and you know, make a nice shape with his body. And that way he can carry his centre of mass using the whole body, which is much better for him, especially when he has to carry a rider, aka me, rather than just on the front end. But there is a but here, everybody. The but here with Hannis is that even though he can still function, he does have a little bit of arthritic changes in his front feet and some problems behind as well. So there's only so far and so much he can do with the Groundwork. So that's an additional challenge I have to overcome, because it's going with a normal horse that had normal biomechanics and no underlying issues. You can just go in there and do what you do, just observe. Whereas with Hannis, I have to ask myself some questions when I'm doing it. I have to go, okay, is this not working because it's too much for you, because you're too stiff, because it's painful? So I just have to be aware of that as I'm going through, and making sure that I'm not going to push him too far, that he's going to end up injured, just enough so that he can become looser and more fluent, but not so much that it's going to injure him. It's getting that balance there, because he will never be able to come up and toned and carry himself the likes of Doutzen and Ice could, just because of those issues. So it's kind of meeting them midway, if that makes sense. He's not going to be able to go all the way, but we can improve him, his self-carriage, his looseness, his suppleness, and his fluency through his own body. But one of the challenges that we're working through together at the moment is within the Groundwork, there's several stages. So there's the initial stage where you've just started and everything's great. Well, a lot of the time it's not, because you have to ask them to reverse and they don't want to do that. So initially when you start the Groundwork, you take the bare minimum. You're like, So you take, okay, cool, you've walked backwards, great, go you, have a gold star. Okay, cool, you're turning your hind leg, you're turning your hind leg, you're turning your hind leg, great, have a gold star. Oh great, you're looking and chewing a bit. Oh great, you drop your neck when I touch you on this pressure point. Woohoo! But then you have to take it up a level. So it's going, okay, cool, you're going back now, yes, but are you going to sit back a little bit more on your hind end and relax a bit more through the body rather than just going back like this, but you're not really bothered? Because at the moment with Hannis, when I ask him to reverse, he just goes, and I had Tracy in the room with me the other day, and I was talking to her about it, because going back to what I've just said about him having the arthritis and a few problems behind, I always find it hard with him to go, how far do I push you? So I thought, well, maybe he just goes back like, because he's stiff and he finds it hard. So I've just been accepting that. Whereas I got Tracy to come in and have a look, and she was like, no, you need to ask for a little bit more, because him go, it's because he's not letting go through his body and sitting back behind to have a nice, soft, fluent backwards motion. Instead he's just going, I'm going to hang on the tension and just kind of do it, but not really, because I'm not really listening to you, I'm just doing what you say and hoping you're going to go away, and then I'm going to stand here and look all around me after we finish the exercise. Whereas what I need to start encouraging him is a bit more, and well, at least just dragging his feet along when he reverses. I need to encourage him to step back a little bit more, with a little more smoothness, stepping back onto the hind end, and when we stop at the end of the exercise, for him to relax and keep that body weight on the hind end. Whereas at the moment, when we finish the exercise, he goes, I'm going to have a look at what's over there. Oh, a pigeon, I like pigeons. Oh, my body weight's back on my front end and I'm ready to step forward. You want them to be ready to have the energy, but it needs to come from behind and a nice push. So that's what we're working on, as well as just getting him a little more forward, a little more on the ball, you know? On the ball, head of game, listening to me, not just playing lip service. So that's what little Hannis on the Klompen, and Holls are going to be doing today. But I need to finish washing his dirty little feet because they're rancid. My little feet are not that rancid actually. I'm not bending enough to show you my foot. Oh, yes, just did it. Oh, that's tight. I need to do some stretches before I begin. Maybe if we go like this. Wee! Oh, yes! Oh, my legs are too tight. Oh yeah, like. So this is the equestrian agricultural version of pole dancing. This is actually quite hard. So just gonna sit back here. Ooh, and that is my workout done. Thank you for coming to my dance tutorial. I will be performing live on the post at our next open day. Just entered the arena now. Moment of appreciation for how beautiful this little man is. Shh. So that's just me saying, no, I didn't ask you to move, stay there. And the reason why he's looking like this is because we've already got a pressure point. So a pressure point is anything that might unsettle them or cause them tension within their body, or anything that's out of the norm. We've got Bailey and Tamara burning and clearing the brambles up here. So that'll just give him something to look at, and it's up to me to get him to focus on me instead of what's happening. My phone ran out of storage, so I wasn't actually able to bring you our whole session, but that's not a bad thing because it allowed me to work it out this time a little bit more, and I'll share it with you as we move along. But this is just the very beginning. There's just me gathering my rope up, sorting my life out, where I spent a bit of time with Hannis before we begin, just getting him to release his neck, because he's especially tight through his neck. Well, he's tight everywhere, but especially through his shoulders and through his neck. So what I do is I will share the pressure point with you, and you see a yawn there as he releases in the other videos, but I kind of choose part of his neck that's quite tight and apply pressure to it using my hand, and then when he gives into the pressure and releases, I step away and let him enjoy the release. And there we go, he came up again, had a look around, tension crept back in, so I went back to the neck and asked him to release. He's just twiddling. There we go, he yawned there, but before that he was just faffing with the rope a bit because he was a bit confused. But what I'm looking for here is for him to release and stay released, rather than just releasing and then going straight up for a look around, which he has done that time. but it's fascinating, the groundwork, learning all the places where they hold tension and what you can do to help them out, because there's specific points on the body that we can use to help them relieve the tension. But thank you very much for joining Hannis and I for this video, and stay tuned because we'll be bringing you another one. I'd also like to bring you more with Xiaoqier and Yolanda, just so I can share the learning journey with you.